Hi and welcome to this video log with me, Wayne, from swimmingcyclingrunning.com. Now I was in Cape Verde recently, and towards the end of my stay, Sheena from Yoga Cabo Verde, to which I'll put a link in the description below, asked me to critique her swimming. She felt that something was going wrong. Now the interesting thing about this is we had to do it in open water. So this is probably the first open water lesson with underwater cameras that you might have seen. But it does mean also that in open water, you might be doing these same mistakes. Certainly what I found was common to a lot of swimmers that I see, both in the pool and in open water. So keep watching, you might find this useful for yourself. Okay, so we're just going to set the scene. Here I am on a supboard just off the coast of Santa Maria in Cape Verde. You can see swimming there is Sheena. Now Sheena is Yoga Cabo Verde. She's very fit. She's been on the island for about 14 years and she's been windsurfing and kite surfing and doing all those wonderful things. So she finds that she gets tired when she swims front crawl in open water, and that's often the case with a lot of people. So she asked me to do some analysis just to see if we might be able to find something that could make swimming easier for her. And I think what I found in this video might actually help quite a lot of people. So keep watching to the end, because what she does you might also do, and it might help you in open water or in ordinary pool swimming. Okay, so as we look at Sheena come through here, she looks fairly balanced, fairly nice swimmer, but she doesn't seem to be producing much power. But as she swims away, I wanted to count her leg kicks. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. She effectively has an 8-beat leg kick. So what is actually wrong with an 8-beat leg kick? Well, in reality, nothing if you're doing short distances, because in short distances you're going to kick like crazy and move your arms like crazy, and you're going to be shattered at the end of 50 or 100 meters. But once you start extending the distance, you want to save your energy, or use your energy sensibly. Now if you're only getting 10 to 15% of your forward propulsion from your legs using huge muscles like your glutes and your quads, then excessively kicking is just going to tire you out but not produce much more forward propulsion. Using your upper body to do that makes much more sense. So just changing from an 8-beat kick to a 6-beat kick will actually save a lot of energy. And that in open water, and especially long distance swimming, is the key to a successful event or successful swim. So let's just take this back a little bit. So as we see her come in, you'll see that the right arm enters with the palm pointing out, and that means that she actually drops her elbow. If you come in with your palm pointing out, your elbow's in the wrong position to actually make a catch. So she's not making a catch on the right hand side, and then because of the position of her hand, she's pushing in an outward to inward move, and the hand goes quite wide of the body. You could see that the hand left the water quite wide of the body. So she's actually going out and then backwards if you look at it. So if we look at it, she'll go out and back. And that's principally because of where her hand is pointing when it comes in the water, the palm of her hand. Now there also, look, she's quite wide of her body coming out of the water, which is shortening her stroke. Now if you notice there, Sheena was coming in with her palm pointing to the outside. Now you can see what that's done to my elbow. I can't move it anywhere. So what she has to do is rotate backwards. And you can see as I rotate backwards, the elbow's rotating. What we really want to do is hold the elbow in that position and come forward with it. Now I'm in a good position for the catch. If my hand's like this, it never is. And what always happens to swimmers is when they start to rotate that hand, they also rotate that elbow. And if I move to the side, you'll note my elbow's dropped. So that means I'm going to miss the catch, the most important part of the swimming stroke. Now with the right arm coming in, you'll see that it remains bent the whole time. The hand's pointing in a better direction. You can see she's sliding it forward, but she's not extending her hand, she's keeping it bent. And again, it's short and coming back outside the body. And she pulls it out a good 6 inches from her body, which must shorten her stroke by quite some way. And this is all her slowing her down and making swimming more difficult. Right, now I also see a lot of people not extending fully. If I go to the side, you'll see this, not extending fully and then pulling. Now, if you don't extend fully, what you've done is you've tensed all of the muscles along the shoulder and the arm. And so that's really tense. What we actually want is a very soft feel to the hand, a soft feel, and then to drive backwards. Now, if we tense up, we tend to go like this as we draw through, and you can see it's beside my body. But just think, that straight down has to be the longest stroke I can do. The further I get to the side, the shorter the stroke. Therefore, if I'm outside my body width, I must be shortening my stroke. And if I'm not reaching fully forward, in other words, extending that shoulder and reaching forward, then I'm again shortening my stroke. So we really want to come into the water, level with your shoulder, extend the shoulder down, get into the catch and drive that underneath the body and back out. That is the most efficient and longest stroke you can get. So that 4-beat leg kick, and where she's entering for her arms, is not doing her a lot of good. Now, I talked to Sheena on the sock board for a short while, telling her about these problems, and now we've got her doing a 3-beat kick, and she is trying to extend her arms. You can see it's a slightly smoother stroke, and she's making less effort to come quite a distance, and she's only coming, if you look, if we take that there, she's coming much further and much closer to her body with that arm. And if we look at the other arm again, she's coming underneath and coming out quite close to the body there. So we've made little changes that hopefully will affect her fairly quickly, but we'll continue the analysis. Okay, so I just want to deal with another thing that Sheena's doing that is exceptionally common in especially open water swimmers, but also pool swimmers. Okay, what I want to see here is where she's actually looking with her eyes. You can see she's looking very much forward, and she looks even more forward there. So she brings her eyes up to look forward, and as she does that, you'll see something happen. So she's quite streamlined in this position, and then as she starts to look up further, you can see her hips fall from the surface of the water. Now if we just take a line as the surface of the water, it's a bit probably low, a line of the surface of the water, you can see how far her hips are below it, and that's wrecking her streamline and adding effectively to the drag that happens on the lower body. We don't really want to do that, but it's quite common for open water swimmers to want to look forward most of the time. Now, unless you're sighting, you really want your eyes to be pointing forward and down and not just forward, because we get this quite prominent arch in the back. And that prominent arch in the back not only adds tension effectively to all the shoulders and the trapezius that are down here and the neck muscles, but also moves you out of your streamlined position. You don't want to do that, but it's exceptionally common with reasonably good swimmers, especially in open water, but some people also do it in the pool. Okay, that's that for now. Hopefully those 4 things have helped you and will help make you a more efficient swimmer. We'll be back shortly with another video. We're not going to leave it this long. It was all because of COVID and sort of losing a mojo whilst we couldn't really film. Okay, have a great week. Enjoy yourself, enjoy your swimming, enjoy your training. Keep up.